What's going on, guys? So I get this question a lot. How do I make a brand out of me, the person, the individual? So there's a couple things I want to get out of the way first before we get into this video. One is, what is a brand? Okay? So a brand is that gut feeling that people get when they interact with you. So we all are our own brand in a sense, whether we have a business or not. Okay? So something to definitely keep in mind. Okay? And the next thing is, why do you want to create a brand in the first place? Is it to look cool? Is it to serve a particular audience that you can really help them solve their problems? Is this a side hustle? Like, really get focused on like why you're doing this in the first place. Because let me tell you something, creating a brand is an expensive investment. And so if this is something that you're not going to take seriously, I highly encourage you to figure something else out, because entrepreneurship is very, very hard. You have to put in the work. These gurus out there that are telling you you're going to make $1 million in 8 weeks or you're going to hit $50,000 by the end of this program. Listen, guys, I don't know what to tell you, but I've never seen that happen. And if it did, it's very far and few. So let me get into some of the things that you need to have for yourself in order to create a great personal brand. So the first thing I want you to ask yourself is this: what do you want to be an expert in? What do you want your audience to know you as? Okay? It took me a lot of time to build up that expertise, and it took a lot of studying. I had to fall on my ass a shit ton of times, until I finally got the niche. Right? And I finally picked it up and I ran. It was like crazy. Like one day I just woke up and it just came to me. And I was like, wow, I must have put in my 10,000 hours today. And that's when everything just flipped. So really deciding what your expertise is going to be and how you want to be remembered, right? The next thing is, what do you invest in first? I highly advise you invest in some sort of strategy, whether you sit down with a brand coach or a biz coach and really map that out before you get started. Highly recommend it, because too many people put the cart before the horse and then they wind up coming back and having to redo everything because they built something that isn't on brand, right? So the other thing that I want you to pay attention to is how you show up. What's the image that you're trying to show? Right? So investing in a photo shoot, investing in a personal brand website, and I'll get into what needs to go on that site in a second, but really investing in quality imagery for yourself, because what happens is your creative team, whoever you decide to hire, are going to use those images in ways you've never thought of to really help bring out the best part of you to the audience that you really want to attract. Okay? Other thing about websites is, Entrepreneur Magazine just put this out, like only 4% of solopreneurs actually have a personal brand website. And that to me is shocking, because if you don't have a website, then how are people going to find you? And that's a super, super critical part in the growth of this business, right? The next thing I want to get into are 4 questions that you really need to ask yourself to really start to put this whole personal brand together, okay? First things first, we kind of mentioned this before. Who am I? Who am I, and how do I want to be perceived? The second question is, what do I do? What is the big problem that I solve that people are willing to pay me top dollar for? The third question is, who am I serving? If you don't know who you're serving, how the hell do you think your audience is gonna know who is the right person for them? So you really have to pay attention to that. Number 3, your point of differentiation. What makes you different from everybody else that does what you do? You have to nail that, otherwise people are just going to go with the cheapest price, and you're going to be a commodity, right? Last but not least, guys, how? How are you going to deliver the value to your ideal customer? And what experience, what end result are they going to get after they come through your service or product? So that, my friends, is a start on how you begin to create a personal brand and how you can take that to the next level. So for more videos on personal branding and how to craft and design your personal brand, Go check out some of these videos right now.